Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. Today we are talking about something that is not coming out in Battle of Chaos. We are going to be talking about the new Marincess cards, which is, I guess it's great, but at the same time, it is something that it might be a bit too late. For the longest time, Marincess has not been that particular deck that's really exceeded itself. It's always just been in the shadows, even behind Cyverse, and Cyverse isn't really just a top deck out there. You had decks like Rockets and Gokis and Salaman Greats being really good top tier decks. Even Altergeist had its own spotlight at one point, but Marincess just never took off, and it's quite a shame. It was always one or two cards short of actually being any good, but seeing any of these cards over here is definitely quite a pleasing thing, but as I said earlier, it is kind of a little too late. But maybe if it could bring it back into the spotlight again, that would definitely be a great thing for the actual deck itself or the archetype itself. However, if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely consider dropping a like, share, comment and subscribe, and also hit that bell notification. It really means a lot. However, with that being said, let's begin. There are a lot of cards to actually go over. So the first card we have here is called Marincess Spring Girl. This here is a Water Cyverse effect level 4 monster of 1200 attack and 1000 defense, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. So for the first effect, you can banish one Marincess monster from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. I like that, it's great, easy to extend, and of course it's simple to actually pull off. Even for an opening hand, it's pretty nice because all you need to do is summon out one other Marincess monster, link that away into a link 1, banish that from the graveyard, and then summon this out, allowing you to link climb into a link 2. Now as for the second effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a link water monster, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Marincess monsters you control, then inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each Marincess card sent to the graveyard by this effect. That's not bad, it's not the most amazing effect. It allows you to mill and get your resources to the graveyard, that way you could actually work with the graveyard, which is very nice of course. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything beyond that. The extra burn of 200 isn't particularly amazing. It's not really going to be game changing unless you're really that close to OTKing your opponent. However, being the first effect is already so amazing on its own, I could definitely see this card being played at 2 or 3 off. Now next up we have here Marincess Sleepy Maiden, a Water Cyverse effect monster, level 5, 500 attack and 2500 defense, and the first and second effects can only be used once per turn each. So for the first effect, you can target one Marincess card you control, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do it against this effect, that target cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while this card is in the monster zone. It's not bad, but it's not particularly amazing either. These days you have non-target banishing effects, so it's not like this particular effect is going to be that beneficial. As for the second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Marincess Link monster you control, equip one Marincess Link monster from your graveyard to that target. I mean, that's not bad. At least this card has somewhat of a special summoning effect. Otherwise, at best, it's just going to be a link material once more. Now, moving on, we have here actually a link 4 Water Cyverse Link effect monster. Very nice here. New boss monster perhaps? That would be great. So this is Marincess Aqua Argonaut. Attack 2300 and points to the top, left, right and bottom. Not the best link markers, but I guess it will do for now. Requires 2+ water monsters. If this could actually be used in more generic water decks, that would be fantastic. You can only use the second and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, your opponent's monsters cannot attack other monsters while this card is in the extra monster zone. Alright, that's actually not bad. I mean, it pretty much puts itself as the target, so if you somehow boosted this up, you could really just hold your opponents back. As for the second effect, you could target one water monster you control and one card your opponent controls, return them to the hand. That's really nice because you're forcing your opponent to attack into this card, so you're already strategically putting yourself out there into a particular manner that puts your advantage into yourself and a disadvantage onto your opponent. To top that off, even if your opponent was to build up a wall of defense, you just simply bounce it back with the second effect. Very good indeed. Now as for the third effect, when a spell trap card is activated on the field during your opponent's turn as a quick effect, you could special summon one Marincess monster equipped to this card, and if you do, negate that effect. Now that's actually pretty decent. That's actually overall a really nice card in general, you know, it works out well. The first and second effects can already just be used generically, but the third effect giving you a negate as well, I like that. It makes going into this Link 4 quite well worth it, to be honest. However, the next card we have here is a normal spell card, Marincess Dive. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Activate one of these effects, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except water monsters. Target one non-link Marincess monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Or, if a Marincess Battle Ocean is in your field zone, special summon one Marincess monster from your deck. That's not bad. I mean, it's essentially an extension of a monster reborn or an unexpected die. Overall, really decent. This might have been a bit better if you would actually be allowed to play as many of as you can per turn, or maybe if this was a quick play spell. Otherwise, it's not necessarily the worst support out there, just gives you a bit more extension to the board. But next up we have over here Marincess Circulation, a normal trap card. If you control Link 3 or higher Marincess monster, you can activate this card from your hand. That's a very nifty and convenient effect there, so let's see what it does. Target one Link water monster you control, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon one Marincess Link monster from your extra deck with the same rating, but a different name. But this turn it cannot attack directly, also it cannot be destroyed by battle. A bit unfortunate there, because I was hoping this card could be used as an OTK potential, but unfortunately all I see is more so a better defensive option. As for the next card, we have Marincess Bubble Ring, a normal trap card that you can only activate one of this turn. First effect, when a monster declares an attack, negate that attack, and if you do, special summon one Marincess Crystal Heart from your extra deck or graveyard. That's actually really nice. It's kind of like setting up yourself for a particular combo in this particular case, so very nice there. In this circumstance, it would be setting you up for a defensive combo. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Link 2 or higher Marincess Link monster you control. This turn, its maximum number of attacks per battle phase equal its Link rating, but your opponent takes no damage from battles involving it. I think that's pretty fair. That's not necessarily the worst thing. It's definitely really nice, it's nifty, gives you a bit of options as well to choose between either or, so ultimately it's a little bit better than the previous card, but overall it's not something that's going to be pushing the deck beyond anything else. The majority of the cards that's come out for this particular deck is more so just great extenders, but not something that's really putting the deck in a circumstance where it could actually stand up against other decks out there. It's far too vulnerable. It doesn't really have some sort of protection from targeting. It doesn't even have protection from being banished. It just seems to be a little bit behind in terms of the different effects out there. Now for this particular set, which I believe to be a duelist pack, we are also going to be getting some reprints. So we're getting here Marincess Pascalis, Marincess Sea Angel, Marincess Coral Anemone, Marincess Crystal Hearts, Marincess Battle Ocean, and Marincess Wave. All are fantastic reprints, of course. Maybe if they just reprinted the entire archetype, that would be fine. It's not like it's expensive anyway. Otherwise, I leave it to you guys to give your thoughts as to what you think about this particular archetype. Ultimately, I don't necessarily regret selling off my Marincess core. I recently did sell it off, so I am no longer actually in possession of a Marincess deck. And I figured when I actually saw that there was this much support, I was genuinely worried that I might have regretted my actions of actually selling off my Marincess deck, but after seeing the support for today, I must say that I'm not in any regret whatsoever. However, what do you guys think? Thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.